Welcome to pattern making class. I'm Annette Julie, and today we are working on our Princess Seam jacket draft. My design goes to the shoulder, and in the last video we just finished making our lapel. Here it is. Here we see it first drafted upon itself, and then here we see it splayed out. Then I took a piece of paper and I taped it down here to the neckline and the shoulder. Traced off a little bit of the shoulder and the neckline, and I just taped it here with some tape that I can remove later. I'm going to draft the collar right in this area. So we're drafting the notch collar part of our lapel and collar draft situation. Okay, so we can see our shoulder seam and our neckline. And here, just so you know it's here, here's the roll line. It's going through the middle of our collar draft, and that's fine. This is the front part of the collar start, and this is going to be the back part of it that's going to correlate with our back neckline. This is also going to be a draft of a notch collar and lapel that is going to fit close to our neckline. So here's our back neckline. I already measured this. This is about 3 3/8 of an inch. You take your ruler and curve it. We have 3 3/8. That's our back neckline is 3 3/8. And we're going to add 1/8. So we're at 3.5 inches, and we're going to use that neckline measurement to draft our collar going up. So here at the high point of our shoulder, this is the neckline shoulder juncture. I want you to mark over 1/4 of an inch towards the low point. And this is going to help us start our collar and eliminate any kind of point that we have going on here. Now take the back neckline measurement, which was 3 3/8. I've added 1/8 of an inch, and I'm going to form a right angle now. And I'm going to go up the 3.5 inches. Okay? So 3.5 inches up. And I'm going to mark the end. Over 1/4, up the 3.5 inches. This includes 1/8 of an inch for ease. Now I'm going to drop this back down towards the low point of the shoulder, 1/2 inch. Dropping down 1/2 inch towards the low point of the shoulder. Now I'm going to reconnect a new line from the drop down point back to where I went offset 1/4. But the line should really look like an S. So curving like a very shallow S. So we're going to curve first, starting here. Let's go straight, 1/4 to 3/8. Then let's blend that curve down and flip and blend that curve back into the line. Once you have the line that you like, confirm it. Draw it with a different color pencil. Now from our newly stylized S line, you're going to draw the collar stand height. So notice that we're not using the original line that we dropped down 1/2 of an inch. we're going to rotate our ruler around and have it line up where we're forming somewhat of a right angle here, and we've gained a little 1/8 of an inch from that original line, making a right angle. Now we're going to come up, and this is going to be your collar height, and this can be 2 inches, 2.5, 2 3/4, 3 inches. I settled for 3 inches. And that is the collar height where it's going to roll over back on top of itself. So it's going to end up being more like 2 inches. If we roll it back like this on top of itself, it'll be about 1 3/4 or 2 inches, depending on how much you spread it or not. But I'm going to start with the standard 3 inches. Now I'm going to go up 3 inches from the line that we drew, our nice little S curve. I'm going to draw short lines. And they were parallel to the S curve. I drew short lines here, parallel, 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 parallel to this S curve line that I made. Here we've got that right angle, right angle. I went down 1/4. Then I went up here, the 3.5 inches. Then how high this is right now, the collar stand itself. This is 3 inches. It's going to roll back on top of itself. Then I've drawn parallel lines going over. Now I can take my hip curve or other curve ruler and blend. Now we need to connect the back of the collar to the front and join our lapel. So there's many different ways of stylizing. So here's the center front. This is always a good place to start with the notch, and we could do something as simple as that to develop the rest of the collar. From the center front line, not the extension, the center front, a straight line, a little bit of curved line, and blend it into the back portion of our collar. Here's one option. Okay, but we could also do a nice curve collar, or it could have a much broader space in between. Could come up like so, or this line could come down. So you have many different variations of where this could be. Also, it doesn't need to join at center front. It could start from over here. It could also join way out over here. Those are more extreme, so the center front's good to start with. And here's some different variation. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick with the first line that I drew there. This is looking nice, and I'm going to go ahead and firm up my collar. And I'm going to go ahead and label this as my center back, my shoulder, and right where the collar joins the lapel is a very important notch. And I'm ready to take this collar off, even though it's going to have a little 1/4 inch that we're going to end up smoothing out. So this is the collar ready to take off the front of the lapel. This is Annette Julie, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Au revoir!